Today's lesson is your review for Quiz 1-1, which covers lessons 1.1 and 1.2. The first question that you're going to see on the quiz is going to ask you to use the segment addition postulate. This question says point J is between H and K on segment HK. Notice the picture is provided for you. Use the given information to write in an equation in terms of X. Solve the equation and then find H, J, and JK. On the answer lines, we need to provide three answers, one for X, one for HJ, and one for JK. All right, let's start by taking these three expressions that they've given us and let's place them into the picture. So HJ would be right here. I'm going to go ahead and just write that expression. JK is right here, so I'm going to go ahead and put 6x in there. And if you want to, you could go ahead and show that it goes from J to K, but as long as it's in between them, it's doing that already. And H to K would be this whole line up here. Now I am going to choose to use the whole thing, just to remind myself that the 24 goes from one end to the other. Once I see it on here, I know that I'm going to be using the segment addition postulate. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this in yellow, this part in pink, and the whole thing in orange. And if I go back and look at my notes, the segment addition postulate at its very core definition says that I take the yellow part, I'm going to add to it the pink part, and it's going to equal the orange part. So let me add those pieces in there. I'm going to add the yellow plus the pink, and it's going to equal the orange. And you can see that in the picture. Now let's go ahead and substitute in our yellow, our pink, and our orange pieces. Well, inside the yellow is this, 5 times x minus 4. Inside the pink is 6x, and inside my orange is 24. It's not really important which color you choose to use. You don't have to use the same color as me. You just have to see that this piece plus this piece equals this whole thing. That's what you have to see with your color. All right, let's go ahead. Now that we've done the geometry and shown that we know how to use the segment addition postulate, let's go ahead and solve for the variable x, because I do need that as one of my answers. And then let's go ahead and substitute in to give our other two. So the first thing we do is we have to distribute. And I'm seeing that right here. So 5 times x would be 5x. And 5 times negative 4 would be minus 20. Then I have my plus 6x from the pink highlighting equals 24. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms. Remember, when I combine like terms, I'm looking at both sides of the equation. So I'm looking over here at the left side, and I'm going to count the terms really quick. Because remember, if there's only one or two, you have nothing to add. 1 means there's nothing to combine. 2 means they're probably not the same, but just check them anyways to make sure they don't both have the variable x. So 1, 2, 3. 2 of these should be the same, and the 2 that are the same are the 2 with the variable x. So those are the 2 that I'm going to combine together. I'm going to go ahead and circle them, and I'm going to circle the plus in front of the 6 to remind myself to add 5x plus 6x. All right, if I look over here on the right side, notice there's only one term, so I cannot combine because there's nothing to combine with it. 5x plus 6x gives me 11x. Minus 20, because I didn't do anything to it, equals 24. Remember, you're always working over here on the side that you combine together to get that x. So we even could put the whole thing in blue, okay? I'm looking at that side, and I'm going to go ahead on the left, and I'm going to get rid of my add or subtract. Well, I see subtract, so let's go ahead and do the opposite. It's inverse, and add 20 to the other side. Because what I do to one side, I must do to the other. Bring down my 11x. 24 plus 20 would be 44. Now remember, one last time, you're getting rid of that x. You want that x to be alone. So I'm I'm undoing my multiplication or division. There is multiplication hiding in there between the 11 and the x. And I'm going to do that by its inverse, which is, of course, division, and I get 4. So my answer here is 4. And now I just have to go back and I simply have to substitute in. So HJ, I'm substituting in right here. So let me make this a little bit thinner. I'm going to say 5 times 4 minus 4. Well, 4 minus 4 is 0, and 5 times 0 is 0. I know that seems strange. There's a piece there, but it's not really there. That's okay. As long as we don't get a negative, we're okay. That might be something that you might want to ask just to make sure that your math is correct and have either me or Miss A check that for you. Okay, let's go ahead and do JK, 6x. So I'm going to say 6 times 4, 24. And take a look at this. 0 plus 24 is 24. So it does actually work out. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at question number 2. Question number 2 is going to ask you to find the distance from A to B on the number line. Notice there's no bar over the top, so they're simply asking you to find the distance or the length between A and B. All you have to do for this one is count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now remember that we talked about you have to watch the scale. So go ahead and look at the scale. No, I always go to 0 first. If 0 is there, that's where I go first. So look at 0. And then notice the next number I see is 2. So this number that's in between has to be 1. Then it goes to 4. This number in between has to be 3. So we are going by 1. So I think I'm okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 was my answer. All right, question number 3 looks very much like question number 1. So find LM if L is between M and N, and notice the pictures provided for you. Let's go ahead and start filling it out. NL is 2x, so find those two letters and put that between them. LM is 17, and NM is 6x minus 7, all the way across the top. All right, this looks a lot like question number 1, so I'm going to grab my highlighter and I'm going to highlight my yellow piece, which I know I'm going to start with. Then I'm going to highlight the next piece in pink, which I know I'm going to put next. And then I'm going to put the whole thing across the top in orange, which is going to come third. I'm going to add together my yellow plus the pink, and I'm always going to set it equal to the orange because that's the segment addition. That's what the segment addition postulate says. Let's go ahead and fill in our values to our colors. So the yellow is 17, the pink is 2x, and the orange is 6x minus 7. Okay, so once again, I just kind of looked right here and I found those two letters and I put the value in between. I looked here, found the two letters, put the value in between, and once again, found those two letters, put the value in between. And I showed that it went all the way. Then I went ahead and I highlighted the first piece in yellow, the second piece in pink, and the whole thing in orange. So you just need 3 different colors: first color, second color, third color. And it's always first color plus the second color equals the third color. The third color has to go all the way across the top. All right, let's go ahead and solve our equation. Draw our line down the middle. As I quick scan it, it does not appear that there's any distributing to do. I do not see any parentheses. So that means the next thing I'm going to do is combine like terms. Notice on the left side, there are only 2 terms. One contains the variable x, the other does not. I cannot add them together. Likewise, on the right side, I have 2 terms. One contains the variable x, the other does not, so I cannot subtract them. All right, now I'm at the point where I need to get my variable on one side. So let's go ahead and take a look at that variable. There it is. And you might want to circle it. You've got to decide which one you want to move. No, it does not matter, but I prefer to move the smaller one. So I'm going to take the 2 and move it over here. The reason I choose to do the smaller one is because it keeps my x positive and I don't have to divide by a negative number. To move my 2x, excuse me, to the other side, all I have to do is the opposite sign. So since it is a positive 2, I'm going to go ahead and do minus 2. Sorry, guys. And I'll cancel it out. All right, I'm going to bring down that 17. That would give me 4x, and I'm going to bring down the negative 7. I need to next go ahead and take a look at my side with the x value. And what I have to do is I have to undo my addition or subtraction. So I'm over here on the left side with my blue x. I see minus 7, so I'm going to go ahead and add 7. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. 17 plus 7 is 24. I'm going to bring down my 4x. Once again, I'm focusing on the side where the variable x is. There's multiplication hiding in between, and my last step is, of course, to undo that multiplication or division with its inverse. So I'm simply going to divide by 4 on both sides, and I get 6. So x equals 6. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to find LM and I'm going to plug it in. Well, LM, I already knew the answer. I didn't have to plug it in. For the last 3 questions of your quiz, your highlighters are going to be your best friends. They're going to help you to see your answer. You're going to need 2 of them. You might want to share with someone at your group, and you use 2 for question 4, and then you switch with someone else and use their 2 for question number 5. Otherwise, if you have your own highlighters, 4 different colors are going to be helpful in these last 3 problems. So we are going to use the figure below. Name each of the following. Be sure to use appropriate symbols when necessary. All right, the first question is asking me, number 4, the intersection of plane LMQ and NQR. So I'm going to use my highlighter to help me find these 2 planes. Now remember, we name a plane using 3 letters, but a plane is normally thought of as a parallelogram, which is a 4-sided shape. So based on the shape that I'm seeing, which looks like a rectangular prism, I am looking for a 4th letter to make that complete plane. So let's do the first one. L, M, Q. L to M to Q. This looks like the front part of the box to me. And so to finish this plane, I would have to include the point P. And so there's the rest of this first plane that they were talking about. Okay, let's do the same thing for NQR. So N, Q, and R. The third one, so this is how I'm going to connect it. It looks like that right side of my prism. Like, think of it like a Kleenex box, like the Kleenex box. So M is going to have to be my 4th point. And if you notice right here, my 2 colors kind of blended together and became orange. That's my answer. Those 2 letters in whichever order you choose. I'm going to do MQ because I read it from top to bottom. Although maybe should have called it QM. They're both the same. And I would accept either symbol. Now, this is probably the symbol that you were thinking of because that's what it appears in the picture. But I would also accept this symbol because technically 2 planes intersect in a line. And so this is not stopping here because the plane really isn't stopping there. Okay, but I would accept the box, I would accept the segment, or I would accept the line symbol. Okay. If you have the letters just M and Q, you are going to get points taken off because you have the right idea, but you just haven't finished the thought. Okay. You haven't done this part because I'm testing you on, do you know your symbols? Do you know how to name things for me? All right, let's go ahead and look at question number 5. And I'm going to use two different colors, and I might actually do some erasing for you. Um, I just have that luxury here, and it's going to allow you, in fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and erase because I have that luxury of doing that and allowing you to start each question from scratch. So here we go. The intersection of PQ. Now notice since there's only two letters, that really should have a line above it. And so they're talking about this bottom part right here. Okay. And then I guess I can use the pink and LP. LP, there they go. Where are the colors coming together? Well, the colors are coming together, I can see right here at P. This is my answer. Now remember, P is just that point, okay? Two lines or two line segments, they intersect at a point. So all I have to put is the letter P. You don't have to write any kind of word. All right, let's go ahead and erase that for the last one. Here we go. Name 2 points shown coplanar with Q. So in this one, I am testing your knowledge of the word coplanar. Okay, I'm looking for, can you give me 2 points that are on the same plane as the point Q? So find that point. Now, Q is part of 3 different planes. Q is part of the bottom plane. Okay, so any of those letters there that I highlighted in yellow, P, S, T, or R, would work for an answer. Q is also part of the right side. So you could also use M, N, or R. And lastly, Q is part of the front. And so you could use any of the letters L, M, or P. So notice, what I want you to notice is there are lots of different choices. You can choose P, you can choose S, you can choose T, you can choose R, you could choose N, M, or N. You only need 2. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different choices of answers. You only need to give me 2. So I'm going to pick R and P, but I can pick any of those highlighted letters, just not Q. Okay, I can pick any of them, just not Q. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good luck on your quiz.